For no reason whatsoever, I'm now going to read you an article from 2016 in The Independent. It's entitled, Donald Trump's Unsettling Record of Comments About His Daughter, Ivanka. When Donald Trump was watching his 16-year-old daughter, Ivanka, host the 1997 Miss Teen USA pageant, he turned to the then Miss Universe and asked, "Don't you think my daughter's hot? She's hot, right?" That anecdote, told to the New York Times by Brooke Antoinette Mahialani Lee, appears to be the first recorded incident of the Republican presidential candidate and reality TV star making comments about his daughter's body, which those present have deemed inappropriate. In the almost 20 years since, Mr. Trump has called his eldest daughter voluptuous. He said it's okay to describe her as, quote, a piece of ass, though she is a senior executive at his business empire, was at the time this article was written. And he said that if she wasn't his daughter, quote, perhaps he'd be dating her. So this article was put together in light of the fact that at this time in 2016, the now infamous 2005 Access Hollywood videotape was released where Trump said that he basically could grab women by the kitty cat. Right? He was bragging about being able to grope, sexually assault women. And at that time, so many of us were horrified that the evangelical Trumpers, the pro-family values, the protect our daughters party were fine with it. They joked about it. They thought it was hilarious because they absolutely could not face any challenge to their worldview, to their strong man, to their savior, Donald Trump. Right. And to the rest of us, it was just the most glaring hypocrisy because we're like, if Republicans really are a party of family values, if they really are a party of wholesome Christian morals, then they should be horrified by Trump's track record when it comes to women. Instead, they made it abundantly clear that their stated values are not actually their true values. They don't care about making sure that they protect girls and women. They don't care about, Christian morality when it comes to sexual expression or the family. They don't care about any of that shit. They care about power and they care about retribution. They care about promoting their authoritarian agenda, right? They really showed themselves to be a Christo-fascist movement back then. We all thought we were saved from it because Joe Biden got elected, but now we're seeing the fact that they were continuing to evolve and continuing to progress their nasty, horrible, repressive ideas. But I think the way that Trumper Christians were making light of this grab them by the pussy statement, the way that they were so anxious to demonize and delegitimize the many, many women who came forward making claims about Trump over the years. So I think for a lot of us, especially again, if we had friends who got sucked into that QAnon MAGA pipeline back in 2015, 2016, we really realized that the Trumper Christian movement was a Christo-fascist movement and that it bears little resemblance to any of the things that Jesus advocated for in the Bible, bears little resemblance to what most Christians around the world practice. And instead, it is a religion built on power, grievance, and retribution. It's not about morals and ethics at all. Otherwise, why the fuck would they have elected somebody like Donald Trump? That grab him by the pussy video alone should have been enough. But there's been jokes about the way Donald Trump treats women for a long time.
You know about sexual predators and things like that. I mean,
you are one.
All right, I was going to say that.
But in particular, I've been really skeeved out by the things he's said about Ivanka over the years, his own daughter. So let's just read a few more of them. On the Howard Stern show in 2003, right there, you just saw, Donald Trump bragged about his then 22-year-old daughter's body, saying, "You know who's one of the greatest beauties of the world, according to everybody? And I helped create her, Ivanka. My daughter Ivanka, she's 6 feet tall. She's got the best body. She's made a lot of money as a model, a tremendous amount." And then in New York Magazine in December 2004, let me tell you one thing. Ivanka is a great, great beauty. Every guy in the country wants to go out with my daughter, but she's got a boyfriend. On the Howard Stern show in 2004, Donald Trump replies in the affirmative when the host Howard Stern asks him if he can call Ivanka a piece of ass. Trump, my daughter is beautiful. Ivanka. Stern, by the way, your daughter, Trump, she's beautiful. Stern, can I say this? A piece of ass. Trump, yeah. In 2006, Donald and Ivanka appeared together on The View to promote season 3 of The Apprentice, in which he featured his own children as his advisors. Ivanka is like a year younger than me. We're about the same age. And around this time, in her late teens, early 20s, Trump kind of wore her around like arm candy. And you could argue whether he was trying to promote her career or, again, using her as a decorative element. The way he talks about her, though, how supremely objectifying and creepy it is. I think that explains why he brought her along to a number of these press events. So on The View in 2006, he didn't bring Don Jr., he brought Ivanka. When asked how he would react if Ivanka, a former teen model, posed for Playboy, Trump replied, "It would be really disappointing. Not really, but it would depend on what's inside the magazine." He added, "I don't think Ivanka would do that, although she does have a very nice figure. I've said if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her." Isn't that terrible? How terrible? Is that terrible? On the Howard Stern show in 2006, I know we like to really shit on Joe Rogan for how much he's platformed Trump, but damn, Howard Stern had him on a lot. So in 2006, Stern remarks that Ivanka, quote, looks more voluptuous than ever, and asked if she had received breast implants. Trump engages in the discussion, saying she has not. "She's actually always been very voluptuous," Trump responds. "She's tall, she's almost 6 feet tall, and she's an amazing beauty." In a Rolling Stone interview in September of 2015, the journalist says, "After I met Ivanka and praised her to her father, Trump, he said, 'Yeah, she's really something. And what a beauty, that one. If I weren't happily married and, her father.'" And then on the Dr. Oz show in 2016, Dr. Oz, that Oprah Winfrey platformed, and then has been scratching Trump's back, and he's been scratching back for at least a decade. Trump was discussing long-awaited details about his health with Dr. Oz and was joined on stage by Ivanka. This is like a pre-recorded session, and so it's not live, right? They edit it down. After Trump kissed his daughter when she came out on stage, the host commented, "It's nice to see a dad kiss his daughter." According to several witnesses, Mr. Trump replied that he kisses Ivanka, quote, "with every chance I get," end quote. The comment was apparently edited out of the final cut when it went to air. And now jumping over to a piece in The Guardian from 2023, a former Trump administration official put out a book in which some of his allegations included Trump making lewd comments about his daughter Ivanka. Quote, "Aides said he talked about Ivanka Trump's breasts, her backside, and what it might look like to have sex with her." According to Taylor, the comments were so gross and out of line that John Kelly, who was the White House chief of staff at the time, once had to remind President Trump that the person he was talking about was his daughter. Of course, let's not forget, in May of 2023, Trump was found liable in a court of law for sexually abusing and defaming E. Jean Carroll. And we haven't even gotten into the lawsuit that was dropped the first time Trump ran for president, in which a woman claimed that Trump sexually assaulted her when she was 13 and was being trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe that's a subject for another video. And then, of course, according to PBS News, let's not forget that 16 different women came forward after the Access Hollywood tape was released to make accusations of sexual assault, including rape, against Trump. 4 other women came forward publicly to say that Trump would walk in on them and other pageant contestants when they were undressing. But in particular, that Jane Doe case I mentioned, the person also goes by Katie Johnson, filed a lawsuit in 2016 alleging that Trump raped her when she was 13 at Jeffrey Epstein's New York City apartment. Her lawsuit against him was dropped in 2016, and we could talk about why that is, that a vulnerable victim who was sexually assaulted by one of the most powerful men in the world might drop her lawsuit. But that case is surging back into the spotlight now because her claim was that she was 13 years old, she was trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein, and that Trump raped her at Epstein's New York City apartment. So, just some relevant information that we all might want to have right now. It might also be a good time to remind your MAGA friends and family who are crashing out over the way Trump is behaving over the Epstein files, the way he looks guiltier and guiltier, that he has a decades-long public history of behavior that should have been concerning to Trumpers anytime. But it's not too late for them to realize what they've been supporting all along.